Hi, folks. So I'm going to give the Sunday update here. 6th of March today. Um, I'm going to focus this one largely around SCSI, just because that was the big thing this week. Obviously, we've been waiting hard on. Why SCSI? Just the background for those that's maybe not familiar. First of all, SCSI stands for the Society of Chartered Surveyors Ireland. They're an independent body that have nothing to do with the government. They're a bit like NEFIT when the whole COVID thing was going. They're not controlled by government, and really they're independent. They're a group of experts. They are engineers, they're architects, QSs, all that type of stuff that's in the field every day. And what was different here was number one, that no skin in the game, which is good news for us. Number two, they were using people and their experiences that are already working in the affected areas and already working with mica homes and pyrite homes. So that was important. So, they're independent and they're informed, properly informed. This wasn't a desktop exercise, this was on the ground stuff that fed into what was the report that we then got on Thursday there. So I think that was definitely a big step forward. The terms of reference to them, they didn't have a complete, do what you like type thing here. They were given scopes of work that we had an issue with in places. 2007 regs, everybody knows we weren't happy with that. 15-year-old regs, we think is an opportunity missed. Even the Green Party should have been all over this and insisting upon 2022 regs, but no, they were again the silent partner in this government, whatever it is they are doing in there. This was a massive opportunity miss for them. Foundations are not included at this point, I hasten to add, because that's part of that IS 465 review. But they did say as soon as they were given or would be given the go ahead to include foundations, they would put a line item in there for that as well. At this point in time, it's not in there. The other thing it doesn't include is like for like. So, I count my home fairly well finished. I will not be seeing replacement of what I have on a like for like basis. What I expect to get is something that'll be reflecting a basic finish. If I'm going to buy a new house, that level of basic finish. So I'll be seeing, for example, tiles for the kitchen, tiles in around the bathroom. But that's the sort of type of thing you still have to go do your own floor coverings and all that type of thing. And that's sort of where this is at. That was the scope they were given. I think they should have been given more, but that's what they were given. But in that whole thing as well, we were facing this battle all along about recycle and reuse and all this type of stuff. Reuse your old windows, reuse your old kitchen, reuse your old sanitary ware, your doors, all that type of stuff. I have it confirmed here from the minister that that'll not be the case now. We will be allowed for new. So basically, it is allowing a price for if it was a new house, effectively. All right. So, like I say, there'll be a basic kitchen allowed for, basic sanitary ware allowed for, doors, windows, whatever else is involved there, that type of thing. And you don't have to go salvage your own. And the rate that we're being given is the rate that allows for that. Okay. Importantly, what he's also telling me is that if you do decide to recycle or reuse any of that, your rate won't change. So that'll be money in your hip pocket that you've saved that you can then put towards something else that's maybe not covered under the grant. So I think that was all a big step forward and in the right direction for us there. So that's sort of, now again, I'd encourage people, rather than come away with stuff that's not informed and not correct, go look at the SCSI document. It's on the MAG page, it's on the 100% redress page. Print it out, you'll see it. I'll take a quick spin through it here with you without hopefully eating up too much time, but there's about 10 pages. The first one is just introduction type stuff. Second one follows in. Approach and methodology is page 4. Page 5 is the construction costs and how they've gone about it, the likes of the 8 house sizes and types that they went with. Page 6 is in around the construction costs itself, and talks a little bit more detailed around that in terms of some of the regs that have been imposed since 2007. They've listed them out. You get into page 8, you get into the actual construction costs, what's covered and what's not. Demolition, structure, substructure, so that's under your ground stuff, your footings, as we call them, rising walls, and your founds. The superstructure, so everything from there upwards. First floor and roof, what's included. Completions and finishes, what's included. Drainage and site works, preliminaries and other fees. cost exclusions. There's a lot of detail in there that are factual, right? Now, encourage people to go do that rather than run with what somebody else is telling you on Facebook. Just please go in and look at it for yourself, and then you're not panicking about stuff. I had a woman 4 o'clock in the morning messaging me. I had no problem because I know the lady well at the stage, and a genuine lady, a pensioner, right? Again, getting completely distracted and sidelined by a pile of hearsay that's out there, and people making conclusions upon themselves without having obviously read the document. Either that or they're reading it and it doesn't suit them, and they're then giving their own impressions of it. Right? I encourage people just stick to the facts, and we'll take the facts as we meet them and work off that. You move then into page 9, is a very important page. 8 different house types and sizes, and their reference points. Well, they'll not obviously reflect all houses, and the detail of how the houses in between houses go. I have a good idea how that's going to work. It'll probably be based on the house type that's closest size, and the house type, for example, let's pick one, 4-bed single rural bungalow, right? They're saying 180 square meters, which is 1937 square feet. They're giving you a price for that and a square foot of 164. Now, if your house is bigger than that, but it's a 4-bed single rural bungalow, then I would expect that rate 164 to apply to whatever square footage you have in your house, type thing. All right, so we'll get that thrashed out, but that's what the expectation would be. All right, and then when you move into page 10, it's the costing methodology for remediation. This is not complete yet. This is options 2 to 5 where you're not demolishing your house. The expert panel is going to be involved in that, heavily involved in that, and we'll be talking to them next week. So we will learn more of this as we go along. The reason SCSI didn't do it is that it said it's too bespoke and it's too unique per house scenario. So they weren't really given a template or an example to go price, and without that they don't know what they're pricing. So that still has to be worked out there. All right, and then the salvage of materials, there's word of that in around page 11, but I've just explained to you how that actually is going, and that's it. So you've got 11 pages. Take a quick look through, and then you know what you're talking about. So that's a good place to be for anybody. So just quickly on it, regards the house sizes and the rates themselves. So for rural single houses, it varies from 145 for the biggest house down to 164 square feet. Euro per square foot. That 90-10 cap was 247.5, right? That means that the old cap would have triggered for every one of them 4 rural examples. And if that had triggered, you would have been to the tune of 80,000 to 172,000 worse off. So this grant gives you 80 to 172,000 more for the 4 examples that's listed in there. And anybody thinks that that's not a big step up, I'm not sure what planet they're on, right? The other, I could go through the examples here, but the very easy way for you to do it, look at that page 9, look at the 4 rural examples, look at the prices they're given, and take away the old cap of 247,500, and that gives you what your saving is. And it's from 80,500 through to 172,500. So that's what it does. I'm going to do the same. Donegal County Council, Martin McDermott's going to try and get me numbers for the estates and what they are, what they were getting in the old scheme for these particular house sizes and types. And then I can give you a read across then as to what savings or otherwise there might be. But certainly the feeling here is that these rates are doable. The cap at 420 was outside their scope. Would have loved that cap not to be there. It is there. But that cap, even at 420, is 172,000 better off than the 90-10 scheme. All right, so not insignificant. So that's the kind of where we're at on that sort of stuff there. But I'll get back to you with the estate type stuff when I can get it. So there will be extremes of smaller houses and larger houses that will get hit harder. I'm one of them with the bigger houses, right? But the vast majority of people should find this now for the first time a pathway to a new home and a new start. And I'm not prepared to throw that baby out of the bathwater. Certainly for the majority of people, this is going to positively impact. So that's where we would be on that. The expert panel we will work with here, like the things I just talked about, the in-between houses, how they cost it out, the options 2 to 5 and all that type of stuff as well that need done. Very quickly, Donegal County Council, return of fees should be all done by the end of March. That's their plan. The emergency works, we want to see clarification on that. I'm just not happy that's where it needs to be. Self-Build Ireland is this Friday to Sunday. Please do attend. Free tickets on there. just go to the mag site and you'll see them and download them. And sure, we'll talk a bit more then after all that. Cheers.